My name is Lesley-Ann Brown-Henderson. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve as the Assistant Vice President for Inclusion and Chief of Staff and Student Affairs. Additionally, I've been co-chairing the renovation of the Black House project with our Vice President of Student Affairs, Julie Payne-Kirchmeyer, for the last several years. And I am thrilled to be able to welcome you back to the Black House and walk you through the renovated space. The Black House is a product of the Bursar's Takeover of 1968, when about 100 plus Black students and allies took over the Bursar's office after some time trying to work with central administration to gain more equitable services for Black students on campus. They were given this space as a result of that. And since then, this has really been the hub of Black student life on campus. To talk a little bit about the renovation, so the renovation really started in 2016 with the hiring of Moody Nolan architect firm, which is the largest Black-owned architect firm in the country. And Moody Nolan has been by our sides hand in hand as we've gone through every phase of the project, in addition to our facilities management colleagues. In 2019, in June, the building closed for construction, and that's when we hired GMA Construction Firm, which is also a Black-owned construction firm by a Northwestern Black alumnus. Together with the Black House Steering Committee, which is a group of faculty, staff, alumni, and students who've been meeting since 2016, we've been overseeing the renovation of this project. There are two other groups I just want to mention, which is the Black House Policy Review Committee, as well as the Black House Curating the Space Committee. These groups included, again, faculty, staff, students, and alum, and helped us to think through what the storytelling elements of the space should be, as well as what the policy should be when people want to operate within this space. With that, the storytelling, I'd like to start right here, and it's with this. We thought a lot about what stories we want to tell about the Black House and where should we begin, and we thought we start with the first Black student that we know. Daniel Hale Williams is the first Black graduate that we know of and have record of at Northwestern, and he was a medical student. Emma, right next to him, was also a medical student, and then the two students next to them, Naomi and Lawyer, were both the first undergraduate students. So really, this is to start the storytelling and to tell Black students, we've been here, and the story begins long before the Bursar's takeover. Now I'd love to show you the rest of the house. We got lots of feedback from the community, from faculty, from staff, from students, from alumni, and there were three themes that really resonated throughout all the groups. The first thing that we heard is that students wanted the space to be fully accessible, and not only in terms of hours, but also in terms of use and functionality to be able to utilize the first through the third floors. And we're really thrilled to say that we have a commercial grade elevator now in the home. In addition to that, every restroom is gender inclusive and is wheelchair accessible. The second thing that we heard from the community is that they wanted it to go from really public space to private, or you can think about it as really loud and vibrant to more quiet and contemplative. And you'll see that reflective in the colors, the patterns, the fabric choices that go from really vibrant colors to more cool colors as you move up the building, as well as the functionality of the spaces. The third thing that we heard from the community is that they wanted this to feel like a house. So it needed to resemble and feel like the house that people and alumni loved back in the 1960s, as well as that students remembered or could call home right now. In addition to that, they also wanted it to feel new and fresh. So we needed to think about how do we renovate and restore while also making it feel contemporary for our students today as well as students to come. One of the main elements of that you'll see is that this stair is a perfect example. We were able to restore this stair, which is original to the home, 100 plus years old. And at some point, the university had drywalled the second and third floors, and we were able to remove that and restore it all the way up the house. So now you see the full beauty of the stairwell and the original architecture of this home. And now we are in the Quibbler's Club family room, we were given permission to honorifically name this space after the Quibblers, or the Quibbler Club, which was a student organization that was founded in 1926. It was integrated in a gender-inclusive group that really served as the precursor to For Members Only, which is our Black Student Alliance on campus. It was important for us as we thought about storytelling in the house to honor the students who came before the Bursar's Takeover, and that's what we tried to do in the living room space. In addition to that, you'll see that this mantle and the flooring in this room are original to the home, so 100+ years old. And then the colors, the fabrics, all the choices that we made are vibrant and warm and reflective of the feedback that we got from students about what they wanted this room to feel like. Behind me is the mural. Original to this home, there was a mural that's historic, and it was removed some time ago because of water damage. As we thought about the history of murals in the house and really wanted to pay homage to that one, we thought there was an opportunity to reopen the space with a new mural. And as such, we decided to engage a muralist in Chicago. Dwight White II is a Northwestern alumnus, and he thought back to his own Northwestern experience, engaged with student groups to get feedback, and came up with this beautiful mural, which is called An Undivided Legacy. So now we are entering the gathering space. This space will maybe look unfamiliar, because it originally was 2 office spaces. And one of the things that we heard from the community is that they wanted a space to gather, to be together in large groups, maybe to even break bread together. And that's where the idea of this gathering space came from. In addition to that, there's a kitchenette, and we were able to build a rear deck. So now students can activate the front of the house and be outside on the front porch, as well as the rear porch. You'll see artwork throughout the house, and this artwork was lovingly curated over the years, and we were just able to put it in different spots throughout. So those things should make it feel more and more like home. Right across from the elevator on the first floor is this mural, which many of you might remember. It used to be on the pocket doors in the living room space, and we were able to remove it and restore it to what you're seeing now. In addition to that, we thought, is this an opportunity to provide some education? So we were able to identify some of the heroes of Black history that are throughout the mural, and then to provide some information about who they were and their contributions to Black history. A lot of care and intentionality went into the curation and the thinking about the storytelling and the history telling in the space, particularly by the Black House Curating the Space Committee. So right behind us, you'll see a gallery wall that is an expression of Black student life, really starting in the 1960s, late 50s, and showing the breadth of that. So from struggle to joy to solidarity to community building to fun, that is what the Black student experience is at Northwestern. So just want to draw your attention to this beautiful stained glass, which is original to the home. And then as we walk up these stairs, right at the landing, you see the B100 wall and the B100 student lounge. Here you'll see our demands in the May 4th agreement, and throughout the wall, the words are from the May 4th agreement, as well as the names of the B100, which are the 100+ Black students who courageously took over the Bursar's office in 1968 to demand equitable resources and services for Black students at that time. We wanted to pay homage to this group, and really the Black House is as a result of their efforts. This is the B100 Student Lounge, and as we were going through the renovation process, we got lots of feedback from students and student leaders who said, you know, we want to deprioritize individual offices and really focus on community space. So this lounge is representative of that, for them to have fun and gather together, and you'll see a few other spaces like that throughout the house. Directly behind me is something that's really important to the house. We talked about the original mural that was in the living room space on the first floor, and this is a replica of it. We thought it held the spirit of the student community and wanted it to live in this space. And then if you see the colors, which are also reflected in the furnishings and the finishings in this room, As we're moving up this space, you should be noticing that it's still vibrant, it's still warm, but we're getting a little cooler. So it's reflective of downstairs being very public, and as we're moving up, it's getting a little quieter. So this is one of 3 conference rooms that are in the house. Just as a point of intentionality, you notice that there are 2 different sized chairs. Again, really wanting to be thoughtful about the breadth and diversity within the community, and that includes size. On this wall art was put here intentionally to recognize the breadth of Black student groups on campus. Here you'll see the names of the currently active Black student groups, and it's also representative of the Black diaspora. Right here on the 2nd floor, you'll notice more beautiful art that had been curated over the years in the Black House. There are 2 office spaces right here, and at the end of the hall, there's a student computer lab. So as we're heading up to the 3rd floor, you'll notice the gallery wall continues with pictures of contemporary students as well as all of our NPHC organizations represented. And you'll notice that the colors are getting cooler, so we're looking at blues and grays that are indicative of a more relaxing, inspirational, and reflective space. And speaking of inspirational, lands us right here. This wall was really inspired by the poster that had been in the home for some time. We built around that, and we wanted students and community members to see Black artists, Black musicians, Black athletes, Black activists, and see them as inspirations of what could be. This being the largest conference room in the house, we thought it was important that this space was also one that was affirmational and reflective. So we decided to put this quote, this Audre Lorde quote, on the wall. So as people are in here, they can also think of possibility. In addition to this conference room, there's one more on this floor, a smaller one, and there's also one more office space. I would love to show you all my favorite room of the house. This room is the quiet room. This is my favorite of the house. As we started demolition and drywall started to fall, we didn't know it at the time because the ceilings were flat, but what it revealed was this beautiful cathedral ceiling. It's a space where students can engage their spiritual practice, can think, can reflect, can find inspiration, can rest, can breathe. The art on the walls are contemplative and really draw students into checking in with themselves internally as well as with each other. I know that you've seen a lot of me and heard a lot of me, but my face and my voice are reflective of hundreds who've engaged in this process over the last 5 years. And on behalf of myself and my co-chair, our Vice President of Student Affairs, Julie Payne-Kirchmeier, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the community for trusting us with this project. Thank you to the alumni, to the students, to the faculty, to the staff who've contributed to every portion of this project. Before I end, I just want to also express my true appreciation to the staff of Multicultural Student Affairs who have and will continue to care for the students and the building, the facility itself, for years to come. Finally, I hope that you all watching will have sensed the love and care and intentionality that has been put into every single part of this project, as well as you sense the light that is now coming into the building that is welcoming us into a new era for the Black House. And I hope all of those things welcome you back home, not only to the Black House, but also to Northwestern. I hope to see you soon.